The Society of Actuaries Research Institute released a new research report that explores this concept of creating an actuarial science learning community. And that's a model that groups students who share some common academic goals and work collaboratively in the classroom with professors and projects. And the project that we were looking at here involved investigating this type of model at Purdue University. The model provided students an immersive exposure into data science from an actuarial science and an actuarial perspective. So with the goal of sort of strengthening and broadening the education system for the next generation of actuaries and looking to broaden the role of actuaries in society, this research report that we've created documents some of the educational objectives, the different approaches that were used, and really some of the lessons learned during implementing this type of community model experience. We're hopeful that this gives everyone some additional information for ways that this type of model can be built on for the future of actuarial education. So Jeff, let me bring you here first. Can you describe a little bit further how you created and implemented this actuarial learning community model at Purdue?
Sure, Dale. So the actuarial learning community is actually part of the data mine, as it's known at Purdue, which is a much larger learning community. The data mine experience allows students to experience opportunities to learn and to live in a community that revolves around a particular topic. In our case, it's actuarial science. So our cohort has consisted of 30 to 40 students each year, and the actuarial learning community has been targeted at second year students, although we have a few third or fourth year students who have also joined the group. Most of the students live in the same dorm, although they're not required to do so. The students take 2 pure data science courses, which all students in the data mine take. So these courses are not unique to actuarial science. The course in the first semester is built using R as a foundation, and then during the second semester, Python is the foundation of the class. Additionally, the students take 2 data science courses that look at the intersection of actuarial science and data science. The first course deals with large data sets and data quality. The course covers data validation and cleansing, visualization of the data, and then the application of the data to solve an actuarial problem. The students have utilized large data sets provided by local insurance companies in this class. And then the second class that is at the intersection of actuarial science and data science really covers the application of data science techniques to actuarial data sets. In addition to those 4 classes that we've just discussed, the students also take several standard actuarial courses, which are courses they take anyway, but they take them as a cohort or together. And the first one is a probability, which is a general statistics course here at Purdue, which the students take to prepare for exam P. But a lot of students take it outside of the actuarial science major, so it's not really targeted at exam P. By having the students take it as a group, we can have Dr. Sue teach it or one of the other actuarial professors. And while they still cover the same principles and concepts as the standard class, they can illustrate those using actuarial or insurance examples, which I think greatly enhances the level of education and understanding of the material for the students. The second semester, then they take statistical theory, and they also take Introduction to Arbitrage-Free Pricing of Financial Derivatives. Now, that latter course was in preparation for exam IFM, but with IFM going away, we're still going to maintain the courses. We think it's very important material. So what happens, we hope, and we firmly believe happens, is because the students are taking the courses together and most of them are living in the same dormitory, that there's a lot of deepening of the learning that takes place as students help each other where they may not understand a concept or something. And there's no better way than to have your peers explain something to you. And actually, even for the person doing the explaining, it greatly deepens their learning. Additionally, the students develop a strong bond, which carries through the rest of their time at Purdue. And I suspect, like most of us, it'll probably carry through well beyond Purdue. And then finally, the last thing I wanted to mention about the actuarial learning communities and the data mine in general is that students have a great opportunity to participate in professional development experiences as we bring in speakers from the campus, but also from industry and the students have the opportunity to attend these presentations.
Really good to hear the wide variety of stuff that's going on there, Jeff. Mark, I might bring you in here as well. It was great to hear about this broader program called Data Mine at Purdue and a little bit of the corporate partnership and involvement. I wonder if you could describe this corporate partnership program that exists within Data Mine.
Sure. The larger Data Mine program, Dale, it's an initiative of the Office of the Provost. There's academic partnerships of the type that Jeff mentioned, where faculty are the principal ones guiding the students. Those are obviously, as Jeff alluded to, just really popular with the students. I mean, they enjoy all of the learning and then all of the peer support. And we thought, wouldn't that be a neat model to try with companies as well? So 4 years ago, we started partnering with a company called Viasat in California, just one company, just as kind of a pilot. We had a ton of academic learning communities. That's grown now to partnerships with 50 companies offering 70 projects for the students. 4 of those projects this year with insurance companies. It's our second year working with Central Insurance and our second year working with USAA. We have new partnerships with Nationwide and with Pacific Life. In those projects, there is faculty involvement and there's also peer support and TAs, but the primary mentors for our corporate partners projects are actually in industry. The students aren't just getting a project at the start of the term and coming back at end of term with a solution, but rather we've taken the model that internships are just so short nowadays compared to the depth of material students need to learn. So the students will meet with a mentor from industry every week throughout the 9-month academic year and really make a significant contribution to the kinds of data science and modeling and R&D that goes on in some of these companies. So there's a broad spectrum of projects across all sectors of industry, but we're particularly excited to see the growth and excitement amongst our colleagues at insurance companies that really would like to have more students working at a greater level of depth, really as partners throughout the year. It's been fun to build this project, and I'm particularly thankful to my colleagues in actuarial science for being such great partners and supporters. So.
Sounds good. Janji, I think I really am interested in hearing more about these type of research projects. Maybe you can give some description to the types or the angles that are involved in these research projects that are provided to the students.
Sure, Dale, thank you. All the students in the learning community will be strongly encouraged to participate in an actuarial research. The research project we provided to the student in the past involve a mortality and lab study using data provided by a life insurance company. The data set contained the death dates and termination dates of more than 200,000 identified policyholders of the company's whole life and term life insurance products. And within the data set, each individual record also contains various covariate information, such as the gender, issue age, medical examination rating, face amount, reinsurance amount, etc. So the purpose of the research was to apply predictive analytic techniques to classify mortality risk associated with individual policyholder, given the covariate information, and then use the model to predict annual death counts, and total benefit payments in the next few years. So for the students who involved in the project, they would meet with actuarial faculty around once a week to provide updates and seek feedback or technical support when the project hits a wall. Therefore, the research activity naturally allows students to interact with faculty members and also learn from their peers and get a sense about the type of work involved in the actuarial practice. The research also provided students opportunity to get a hands-on experience for dealing with dirty data, dealing with real-world applications of the knowledge that they learned in class, and more importantly, in my opinion, understanding the practical constraints and limitations of statistical models, which cannot be directly learned from textbook. So besides the development of the technical skills that I just mentioned, the research experiments also benefit the development of soft skills for the students. For example, the students were dependent on each other and require them to share responsibility. During the process, the student naturally learn how to address team conflict, manage individual and team accountability, and provide constructive feedback to other team members. Moreover, at least about twice every semester, the student involved in the project would meet with actuaries from the industry partner, providing us the data to present their findings. So in so doing, the student also learn the communication skills needed in data analysis, such as understanding the context, visualizations, and focusing on the outcomes and impact, etc. Finally, I also think that the insurance company should be benefited from the research full access to student intelligence and knowledge diversity within a university setting. So looking forward, we hope to continue exploring different ways to expand such a industry academic collaborations on student training so that a better career-driven education model can be provided to the next generation of actuaries.
I think we have some of those next generation of actuaries with us today to discuss about the benefits of being part of this community. Melissa, let me bring you in here first. You know, how do you think this research experience and this experience through the learning community benefited you during your time and studies at Purdue?
Definitely, so I could share some of my experience. I think like being part of the learning community as well as having the opportunity to be involved in research has benefited me in many different ways, as well as like gaining that understanding and knowledge of the actuarial field, as well as with data science. So there are a lot of things that I could focus on, but I think I want to focus on two main things, maybe two aspects. So one of them is the perspective of my experience as a student. So how the learning community, the program is structured has been really helpful for me, especially all of the cohort is living in the same space, as well as taking courses together. And some of these courses are also challenging, in which being able to take the courses together as a cohort, I was able to kind of like learn from others, and as well as having that space, like that supportive community in which you could work with others, learn from others, as well like deepening those relationships that otherwise is kind of like a little bit more difficult to form. The other aspect is also like having like that, from classes you learn like those technical skills, that knowledge, but it's sometimes difficult to apply it in real life, or how to see like that perspective of how like it actually works on real life. So having like those research projects, as well as working as a team, like that collaboration setting, also helps you to gain new perspective, bounce ideas with each other. And another thing, the perspective to see the program, as well as that it also has a lot of like leadership opportunities. So I have the opportunity to be a TA for the data mine for 2 years. And in that setting, like as a student, you gain skills, but then as a TA, you kind of like strengthen also those skills, as well as work with other students, learn from them, but also kind of like you learn a lot of like complex concepts that you are able to see like, oh, if I actually test that knowledge, if you understand it, or strengthen those skills, as well as, okay, how do I explain this in a simple way? at the same time motivating or encouraging other like young generations to also explore data science as well as like the combination with the actuarial field.
Jacob, let me ask you, I mean, I think we all aspire to go to university, have these types of beneficial experiences, and then use our education and knowledge in our future career as actuaries. How do you think this research experience and this learning community have benefited your future career?
Yeah, well, I think that it's key to be able to deconstruct and understand the complex systems of risk that are present in the real world. That is what our job is. And being able to participate in this research opportunity to use these sophisticated academic models to try to make predictions from real world seriatim mortality data is very similar to what I'm doing now. It's applying those models and ensuring that those assumptions that hold in theory hold in practice, and then applying them carefully. And I think that's a key part of the academic study of actuarial science, is bridging that gap, the interplay between those direct applications of the theoretical contents in a more idealized business context, like solving questions on an exam, and the actual messier applications faced in the real world professional practice. And another part that was touched on before was the actual writing of the report in the presentation we gave to the life insurance company who provided the data. So instead of a typical academic experience where you have a professor as a principal investigator who is seeking to better understand that theoretical practice of predictive analytics, Dr. Su, as not part of the company himself, not a shareholder, he has a different goal than the firm, who is looking for a solution that can actually provide them with accurate and useful information. And then finally, the learning community itself. I think the most beneficial part of that was the relationships I built, not only with faculty, but especially with my peers, some of whom, some of the members of my cohort are literally my coworkers today. So through that data mine experience, I was able to build a rapport with them, learn how they work, and be able to continue that directly into my career. But also forming those relationships early and learning how to work as a team and contribute something valuable, not only in an academic context, but also in a business context, I think has been really important to my career.
Melissa, Jacob, thank you very much for giving those types of perspectives to describe how this learning experience has translated into your growing work as actuaries. And really, thanks to the entire team for stopping by to discuss this really important report that we hope shares some of the knowledge on what goes on in actuarial science learning communities using this example at Purdue University. I think across the SOA, we really hope that this project and the research report gives a little bit of background and serves as a place where other schools who are interested in similar programs can learn a little bit more about what was happening and continues to grow at Purdue. So thanks everyone for joining us today.
Thanks, Dale.
Thank you, Dale.
Dale, we sure appreciate the support of the Society of Actuaries in this effort. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Dale.
Thanks, Dale.
One thing we could note is if there are peer institutions, if there's other universities around the country who would be interested in starting data mine types of models on their own campus, we're already exploring many pilots with a variety of institutions. We have students from 38 minority serving institutions around the country working on data mine types of projects with our corporate partners. And we also have universities around the state of Indiana and throughout the Midwest who are adopting pilots of these kinds of programs. So if you're interested to explore having a program like this on your own campus, we have federal dollars that we could contribute to helping you spin up a model of the type that we're already incorporating with the data mine here at Purdue. We'd be glad to help.
If you have feedback or questions about this particular research report, look forward to connecting with you. Please just contact us at research@soa.org. The Inspiring Actuarial Education Through Learning Communities and Research Experiences report can be found on our SOA website. Just click on SOA.org, look for our Research Institute, and then click on Risk Management, where you'll find it among the different projects that we have there. Thanks for everyone for joining us today to learn more about the projects we have going on at the Society of Actuaries Research Institute.